Morning! How are we all doing? It's been a while, but today I'm in the lovely village of Droxford for a long run, a 16-mile long run, and I'll tell you all about what I've been up to and what the plans are for this year. So, after the Beachhead Marathon I had about a week off and then sort of ticked over Christmas, 20 to 30k a week, keeping myself relatively fit. However, in January I contracted the flu, proper flu, and I didn't run for 10 days. Oh wow, it's wet here. That's my feet wet already. And training for my next race started the week after I was ill. But what is that race? Well, I probably talked about it last year. It's the Ultra Trail Snowdonia 55k. We'll talk more about that later, but for now we're on the trails of Droxford. I'm doing a 16-mile loop and it's going to be my longest run since the Beachhead Marathon. Glad to be back. Welcome to the channel, RunManDan. See you in a bit. Look at these wonderful views. Beautiful running. So 2 years ago I made a video about my plan for 2023 and 2024, and it was all about qualification for the CCC by UTMB. Going a bit fast, more about that in a minute. But obviously my injury happened and I was out for 6 months, and that effectively put me back 2 years because I needed last year to get back to full sort of marathon running distance and fitness, which is what the Beachhead Marathon was all about. And then this year I'm back to trying to qualify for this race. So if you're not sure about what it is, or you didn't see that video, I'll tell you now. So the UTMB Running Festival is probably the largest trail running festival in the world. It's a 100-mile ultra that starts in Chamonix in France, and there's a 100-mile loop of Mont Blanc and then finishes in Chamonix as well. The race I want to do, that's too much for me at the moment, is the CCC, which is the UTMB's baby sister. The CCC is a 100-kilometre trail run, single stage, around Mont Blanc that starts in Courmayeur in Italy and finishes in Chamonix in France. The thing is, you need to qualify for that race, and to do that I need to obtain running stones from other UTMB events around the world. So how am I going to do that? Well, the idea is the more running stones you get, the more entries into the lottery for the CCC you get. So the first race I'm going to do is the UTS 55-kilometre Ultra Trail Snowdonia. It's a 55-kilometre ultra which sees you climbing Snowdon twice with 3,300 metres of climbing. That will get me 2 running stones. Now that's in May, the middle of May. Then for a further 2 running stones I'll be running the Nice-Eze 50k in France with 2,100 metres of climbing, and like I said, that's another 2 stones. So I'll have 4 stones to enter into the lottery for the CCC. Now I know of people that have got in with 2 stones, so 4, fingers crossed, should be enough. Now that means today kicks off a new series of videos. Now it won't be weekly, it'll be probably every 2 or 3 weeks, but the whole series is going to take over a year, because I'm going to document every single race I do up to the CCC, and of course the CCC itself, which will be August next year. So there'll be content on this channel coming out at least for another year and a bit, year and a half actually, just not every week. But we'll be documenting as much as possible, all the races, training runs, recce runs, stuff like that. So I'm going to get on with this run, and in a bit I'll tell you about the plan for this year, 2025. Okay, we're just at the top of the first climb, around 8.5 kilometers in, and that was quite a tough long climb, but that's fine, we need that. So the plan for 2025 then is this. Currently starting a new block of training right now. I'm in week 3 for a 16-week block to train for the UTS 55k. More about that race specifically in another video. Before I go there, in early April, I'll be going up to Wales with the kids to do a couple of recce runs in and around Snowdon. Then, after that, in June, I'll be helping my friend Sam by pacing her for 20 miles for part of the South Downs Way 100. I'd imagine it'll be something like miles 50 to 70 or something. Then in July, I'll do some sort of summer marathon to keep me ticking over. So I'll start my new block of training for the Eze race in Nice. Then in September, I'll be running the Nice Eze 50k. Got to run down there, it's gonna hurt. Then in Athens, the wife and I are considering running the Athens Marathon in Athens in November. The wife and I are considering running Athens Marathon, and in December I think I might do something like Winter Downs 50k or something like that, just to cap off the year. So that's the plan for 2025. It should put me in good stead for 26. We'll talk more about 2026 later on in the series, but for now I'm going to run down that and destroy my quads. See you at the bottom. Concentration levels to run down a hill like that are off the charts. One false move and you're breaking your ankle. I think I'd rather climb up it. Okay, we're about 13.5 kilometers in, just gone past 13k, halfway, and I've just climbed Old Winchester Hill. So we're just coming down the back of that now. Nice little downhill for about 1.5 k now. So, what's this training block looking like? Well, similar to the Beachy Head Marathon, but even more emphasis on elevation. The distance is longer, so we're running about 10 to 13k longer, and the elevation is significantly more, 3 times that of the Beachy Head Marathon. So there'll be a lot of hill work incorporated into this training block. On top of that, I'll be introducing a bit of cross training, some e-bike stuff at home on the watt bike, maybe 1 or 2 days a week, just to turn the legs over without the impact on the joints. And my strength and conditioning will be tailored even more to the climbing aspect of it. Just on Friday I was doing step-ups with 20k bag on my back, so it's going to be more of that, just getting used to the climbing, and I'll probably incorporate some hikes as well. Maybe replace recovery runs with hikes, because I'm going to be doing a lot of walking in the race. I'm excited because I sort of got to April last year where everything sort of fell apart after the South Downs, not last year, 2023, everything fell apart after the South Downs Way 50. In retrospect, shouldn't have done a 50-mile race whilst training for a mountain ultra. I did too much. My body couldn't deal with it. Oh, obviously they didn't want to move over. So yes, that is the plan for this training block. I'm super excited. I can't wait to get up to Wales in April to have the recce run. Of course, we'll take the camera, we'll document all of it, and we'll talk more about the UTS itself in another video. So I've got about, well, coming up to 14 Got about 12k to go before we finish this 16-mile long run. And then I can have a coffee as a reward. Oh, see you in a bit. Okay, we're just on the final climb now. This is Beacon Hill. It's the biggest climb of the run as well. Coming up to about 19k. So about 6k to go after this. K's done. But something really, really awkward just happened. So I'm running through the lovely village of West Meon, and I go through the village centre and then go through this little footpath of trees and stuff. And then I get to the end of the footpath and I burst out from these trees, because it was slightly downhill, and run straight into a graveyard next to a church with about 100 people dressed in black, all looking at me. This guy in bright green storming across the graveyard. Now, there is a public footpath that goes through the graveyard, so I'm on that, but it was just awkward. Oh dear. Whew, right, gotta get to the top of Beacon Hill, then into Exton, the village of Exton, and then we're heading for home. That's it, we are all done. 16 miles completed in 2 hours and 47 minutes. Excuse me. Happy with that, really happy with that. It was a tough run. Let's have a look at the elevation. Oh, really good to be back though on these long runs. I've missed them. Elevation of 474 meters, so very, very good first outing in terms of a long run. For elevation, that's about 1500 feet, so can't complain with that. But we're all done. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. As I said, this will be the first in a long series of videos, all leading up to the CCC in Chamonix in France next year. Next video will be a proper introduction to the Ultra Trail Snowdonia, and tell you what it's all about, the elevation and the route and things like that, and how I'm going to plan for it. So I'll see you then in a couple of weeks. Thanks very much for watching. Bye bye.